Hello and welcome along once again to the latest production here from YouTube on Andy Holdings speedfigures.co.uk. Andy here taking a look back at last week's top class action at York and Newbury predominantly, and taking a look at the very best times on the time figures according to our numbers. We start off early on in the week at Windsor on the Monday, where Solid Stone put in a tremendous effort on the clock in beating a decent field and listed race at the Berkshire venue. I like the way he quickened up in the latter stages. Came at the stand side, arguably on the favoured part of the track, but you couldn't have been more impressed by the way he went through the line. And one would imagine he'll be Royal Ascot bound. Which race he'll end up running in, not too sure. He ran in a listed race there previously behind Oh This Is Us, when he was a little bit sweaty beforehand and ran a little bit too freely. So you'd imagine he'll go back there maybe something like the Hunt Cup. I think he's rated in the low hundreds, which should easily, of course, get him in the big 30-runner handicap in a month's time. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on. Over to York, and another sprinter to deal with was Ed Walker's Starman, who produced the one of the better times of the week in 97 and our speed figures, which is very, very commendable. He went through the race like a top-class horse, and Ed Walker's always had a very high regard of his charge. He was good there last year in listed company. Now looks as though he's ready for Group 1 company on the back of his win in the Duke of York. And one would imagine he'll go straight to the Diamond Jubilee at Royal Ascot. His defeat there last season can be put down to the heavy ground, so a better surface will hopefully see a much more polished performance by a very much promising Starman. Another sprinter that took centre stage later on in the week was Winter Power. Tim Easterby's charge scooted across the fast ground of the Naysmire to win in a very fast time, again recording in 97, similar to Starman previously. 5 furlongs very much looks her bag, and again, looking at races further down the line, possibly King's Stand, but all the fast 5 furlong races will be very much in a viewfinder for the remainder of the year. On to the weekend, and there was a couple of good performances at Newbury on Saturday, the final day of the week we're going to look at. Palace Pier, undoubtedly and unsurprisingly really, was good on the figures in the lock-ins. 98, one of his better times in beating what looked a very good collection of milers from either side of the Irish Sea. Once again, he strode majestically clear to win, probably with a little bit more in hand than the official margin suggested, in beating Lady Bowerthorpe. The pair of them will well clear. The time figure was good, as I said, and the form should stack up with regards to the Queen Anne, the target for Jonathan David Gosden's charge next time out. But the pride of place of the week goes the way of Baybridge, who won the London Gold Cup. That race has always traditionally thrown up some potentially pattern performance further down the line. This one looks no different to Michael Stout's charge. Powered his way to victory, beating what looked a decent and competitive a bunch of 3-year-olds beforehand. Kim Frankel was the only one who could lay a glove on Sir Michael Stout's charge in the latter stages, but even he was succumbed to the power of the winner to the tune of 4 lengths, and the pair of them pulled well clear the rest. But the time figure and the sectional times in the back end of the race suggested that Baybridge is easily up to group standing. Indeed, the handicapper subsequently has raised him £14 to now his perch of 104. He'll probably go to the Royal Meeting, maybe contesting one of the listed or maybe Group 3 races throughout the remainder of that or through that week. He looks a really, really smart horse in the making. Baybridge, make a note of him. 2 2-year-olds that caught our eye on the speed figures. They're beginning to come through, the better youngsters. Superior Force of George Voorhees at Salisbury clocked an 88, which is right up there with the best times that we got so far from a juvenile. He looked very professional in victory. And on the Naysmire, Project Dante, aptly named, won. He's on his debut for Brian Smart in very famous colours. I think he could be Royal Ascot bound. Certainly, Brian Smart knows what he's doing when he's got a good one. He's won, I think he won the commentary with Helvellyn many years ago. So those 2 names, Superior Force and Project Dante, are 2 to keep an eye on. So there we go for the week. Solid Stone, Starman, Winter Power, Baybridge, Palace Pier, Superior Force and Project Dante are the 7 we suggest you stay on the right side of. Hopefully you can rejoin us again next week for the latest production, where we'll take a look at all the action from this week's action. Until then, bye for me for now.